Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to tell you about the climatic changes during the Triassic in the eastern part of German Basin based on palynological evidences. In the Triassic, 200 to 150 million years ago, the Germanic Basin was a part of the northern tropical part of the supercontinent Pangaea, located between cold Boreal Sea and warm Paleotethys and Tethys oceans. Eastern part of Germanic Basin and its eastern and southeastern margins, covered with vegetation, were located in the area of present-day Poland. Rock material for the study was taken from 71 boreholes located in western and central Poland and 2 outcrops in the area of Kielce, and in total 172 spore-pore assemblages were analyzed. The aim of study was to determine changes in the climate humidity based on differences in spore-pore assemblages occurring in the Triassic sediments of Poland. Spores are reproductive cells used for asexual reproduction of spore-bearing plants like ferns, horsetails, or equisetales, whereas pollen grains are male reproductive cells used for sexual reproduction in gymnosperms and angiosperms. In the Triassic, gymnosperms were represented by seed ferns and conifers. Following methods were applied in the study: spore-pore pollen analysis, which allowed for determination of percentage share of spore and pollen grains genera in microfloristic assemblages, the association of spores and pollen grains dispersed in the rocks with their parent plants, and determination of climatic and environmental preferences of parent plants based on the principle of actualis and the morphological characteristic of preserved macrofloral remains. Moreover, the principal component analysis was applied to spore-pore assemblages in order to determine the environmental and climatic preferences of myospore genera. And for example, such genera as Equisetum sporites, Calamospora, Punctatis sporites, preferred rather warm and humid conditions, whereas Triadispora and Angustisultites prefer rather dry conditions. At the base of the PCA analysis, we obtain genera which we can name the hygrophytic forms, xerophytic forms, and also mixed on transitional elements. Based on the results of this analysis, we can assume that the spores of horsetails, ferns, equisetales are indicator of humid climate, whereas pollen grains of seed ferns and conifers rather indicate a dry climate. Monosulcate pollen of benedictales have no clear humidity preferences. The next step was a calculation of percentage of xero and hygrophytic and intermediate forms in the analyzed assemblages, and calculation of the humidity index Hx, which is the ratio of hygrophytic H to xerophytic X forms. And here we have sample results of analysis of spore pollen assemblages from the selected borehole section in red are shown xerophytic forms in green, hygrophytic, and these intermediate or transitional forms are in the blue, and also the HX ratio was calculated. Research results indicate that arid and semi-arid climate condition prevailed in the eastern part of Germanic Basin throughout of most of Triassic. An increase of humidity to the semi-humid climate took place in the middle Olenekian and also in Ladinian, Norian, and Retian. The humid climate prevailed in middle Carnian. The obtained results are similar. The results obtained from Poland area are similar to those from the central part of the Germanic Basin. And if we compare them with the results from the Tethys domain, we will find a reflection of two global climatic events, so-called Smithian-Spathian boundary events and Carnian pluvial event. The Smithian boundary event is related to a global temperature increase at the end of Smithian in early Triassic. In the Germanic Basin, it was period of the very dry desert climate in which the dunes were formed. After it, a rapid increase of humidity is observed in early Spathian. And the Carnian pluvial episode is characterized by a short life period of extreme rainfalls in the middle Carnian. And this phenomena, the most probably, was associated with activity of the Wrangleria large indigenous province in the Pantalassa Ocean. The HX ratio is high, and also the perturbation in organic carbon cycle are observed during this Carnian pluvial episode. To sum up, dominance of xerophytic forms in meiospore assemblages reflects a persistent arid climate in the eastern part of Germanic Basin during the most of Triassic, what generally coincides with the paleogeographical and paleoclimatic data for this area. Increase in the number of hygrophytic forms documents the humid phases during the Middle Olenekian, Middle Late Ladinian, Middle Carnian, Late Norian, and Late Retian. The Middle Carnian humid phase is correlated with the Carnian pluvial event of a global character. At the boundary of the neighboring Preselensis meiospore subzones correlated with the Smithian-Spathian boundary in Middle Olenekian, and increase of HX ratio is observed, and this phenomenon of climate wetting is a global issue and can be related to the Smithian-Spathian boundary event. Thank you very much for your attention.